Some things just sound so wrong, like clam-flavored tomato juice and reverse mortgages, but sadly exist. In the automotive world, nobody ever asked for a Ferrari station wagon, and yet the 1965 330 G2 plus 2 shooting brake sports wagon was built. Hey guys, I'm Figu, and today we're diving into the top 8 slow cars that only look fast. Let's get started. 8. Pontiac Fiero. The Pontiac Fiero looks like it could give a Ferrari a run for its money with its sleek, mid-engine design and wedge-shaped body. Introduced in 1984, the Fiero was Pontiac's attempt to create an affordable mid-engine sports car. But under the hood, it's a different story. The base model had a 2.5-liter Iron Duke inline-4 engine that produced a measly 92 horsepower, barely enough to get your adrenaline going. In fact, the Iron Duke engine was originally designed for GM's line of compact cars and light-duty trucks. It's almost like GM thought, let's put a tractor engine in a sports car and see what happens. The Fiero's innovative plastic body panels were a highlight, making it rust-proof and lightweight, but that didn't help its performance much. Despite its slow performance, the Fiero did have some redeeming qualities, like decent fuel economy and a comfortable ride. But if you were looking to race, you'd be left in the dust by your neighbor's minivan. Fun fact, the Fiero's engine was actually borrowed from a tractor. Talk about agricultural performance. 7. Toyota Celica GTS. The Toyota Celica GTS has the sporty look, complete with a rear spoiler, aggressive styling, and those sleek aerodynamic lines. Debuting in 1970, the Celica aimed to offer a sporty drive without the hefty price tag of its competitors. But when you step on the gas, you'll find it's all bark and no bite. With a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine making 180 horsepower, it's more of a slow and steady cruiser than a speed demon. Sure, 180 horsepower might sound decent, but the Celica's power, delivery and performance were more suited for a casual Sunday drive than a high-speed chase. It's like having a greyhound that prefers to nap rather than racing. However, the Celica GTS does have its fans, thanks to its reliability and handling. The GTS model also featured a higher redline and better suspension, making it a favorite for tuners and modifiers. At least it's reliable, right? 6. Mitsubishi Eclipse. Remember when the Mitsubishi Eclipse was the poster car for street racing? Thanks, fast and furious. But the reality is that the base models, especially those from the early 2000s, were anything but fast. With a 2.4-liter inline-4 engine that produced just 142 horsepower, this car was more show than go. The Eclipse debuted in 1989 as a collaboration between Mitsubishi and Chrysler, aiming to capture the sporty compact market. It's like a bodybuilder who can't lift heavy weights. All looks, no substance. The Eclipse was designed with sporty aesthetics, including a low-slung body, wide stance, and those cool pop-up headlights. But when it came to actual performance, it fell short, making it a classic example of old flash, no dash. Despite its lackluster performance, the Eclipse had a strong following due to its customizable nature and stylish design. The turbocharged variants were much better, but the base model? Not so much. 5th. Ford Mustang II. The Ford Mustang II is a car that enthusiasts love to forget. Introduced in 1974 during the oil crisis, it was designed to be smaller and more fuel efficient than its predecessors. Despite its sporty Mustang name, it was a far cry from its powerful predecessors. The base engine was a pathetic 2.3-liter 4-cylinder that churned out a mere 88 horsepower. That's less power than some modern compact cars. Ford introduced the Mustang II during the 1970s oil crisis, so fuel efficiency took precedence over performance. Unfortunately, this meant the Mustang II was more about getting good gas mileage than burning rubber on the road. It's like putting a cheetah in a race, but giving it the legs of a tortoise. Despite its shortcomings, the Mustang II did sell well during its time, proving that sometimes practicality trumps performance. Its Pinto-based chassis didn't help its reputation either, making it one of the least loved Mustangs in history. 4. Dodge Stealth. The Dodge Stealth was designed to look like a futuristic spaceship ready to zoom off into the distance. Its sleek aerodynamic body and sporty lines made it look like a car from another planet. Introduced in 1991, the Stealth was part of a collaboration with Mitsubishi, sharing its platform with the 3000 Entity. However, with its base model's 164 horsepower V6 engine, It was more of a slow shuttle bus. Despite its aerodynamic design and sporty name, it was less rocket and more rock. The Stealth was part of a joint venture between Chrysler and Mitsubishi, and while it shared a lot with the Mitsubishi 3000 TN, the base Stealth just didn't live up to its looks. The twin-turbo models were a different story, but if you got the base model, you'd be better off with a minivan if speed is what you're after. The Stealth's advanced features like active aerodynamics and all-wheel drive were impressive, but the base engine just didn't do it justice. 3. Volkswagen Corado. The Volkswagen Corado is one of those cars that looks like it should be tearing up the Autobahn. With its sporty coupe design, rear spoiler, and aggressive stance, it screams performance. The Corado was introduced in 1988 as Volkswagen's attempt to offer a high-performance coupe. Unfortunately, the base model's 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine, producing 158 horsepower, meant it was more about style than speed. The Corado was praised for its handling and driving dynamics, but in a straight line, it left much to be desired. The G60 supercharger added some excitement, but it still couldn't match the looks with the performance. It's the car equivalent of dressing in a tuxedo for a jog in the park. At least it handles well, giving you some driving pleasure, even if you won't be setting any speed records. The VR6 model did bring more power, but the base Corado was all about the curves rather than the straights. 2. Chevrolet Camaro Iron Duke. The Camaro is known for muscle and power, but the Iron Duke edition missed that memo. Introduced in the early 1980s, the Iron Duke was part of GM's effort to offer more fuel-efficient engines. Equipped with a 2.5-liter inline-4 engine that put out just 90 horsepower, it was a sluggish performer. Imagine a heavyweight boxer with the punch of a featherweight. The Iron Duke engine was designed for economy, not speed, and putting it in a Camaro was like putting a moped engine in a race car. The Camaro's body was muscular and aggressive, but the engine made it more suited for leisurely drives than drag races. It looked the part, but when it came to performance, it was all just a show. This version of the Camaro is often considered one of the least desirable models in the car's history, a blip in the otherwise proud lineage of American muscle. The V6 and V8 options were far superior, but the Iron Duke was the economy option that nobody wanted. 1. DeLorean DMC-12, and finally, the DeLorean DMC-12. Immortalized by the Back to the Future movies, it looks like it could hit 88 miles per hour and travel through time. Designed by Giorgetto Giugiaro, the DeLorean featured a stainless steel body and gull-wing doors, making it one of the most distinctive cars ever made. But in reality, its 2.85-liter V6 engine only produced 130 horsepower, making it painfully slow for a sports car. The engine was a collaboration between Peugeot, Renault, and Volvo. And while it was adequate, it didn't live up to the car's futuristic looks. It's like seeing a lion with no roar. All presence, no performance. The DeLorean was more about style and futuristic looks than about actual speed. The car's performance issues were partly due to its weight, and partly due to the underwhelming engine. But hey, at least it has those iconic gull-wing doors, and it will always have a special place in pop culture. Despite its lackluster performance, the DeLorean remains a beloved icon, thanks in large part to its Hollywood fame. So there you have it, folks. The top 8 slow cars that only look fast. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Figu Cars for more awesome content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.